involved in this whole story on a spiritual level, that it has left some sort of a big, I don't know, hole or effect in the ether, in the astral, planes, like that some it's like it's almost like the spirit of these children are crying out, if you can, if it makes sense.
Yeah.
Prove to me that you are alive.
What's really good, everybody? Welcome to Prove to Me That You're Alive Lightcast. I'm not gonna say we're the most shadow band. I'm getting tired of saying all of that. But in order for me to do my introduction today, I must say this to the gentlemen that are here today. I have to apologize. We've been trying to set this up for a very long time. Health issues, stuff like that. So I'm apologizing to the gentlemen. First of all. Second of all, I want to say that I really appreciate these two guys sitting here. These two really honorable men. I have been blessed enough to know them. David has become a brother of mine, and I just want to say that I really appreciate that you two are not giving up on the cause. Because again, we're talking about the most sacred that we have. We're talking about children. So what we're trying to do is we want to reach some sort of justice. So, and I want to remind everyone that we are available on Rumble if you can't find us on YouTube. Also, all of these podcasts and this series for the Screaming Children Unmask The Mystery are also available on all the audio. I'm talking about Spotify, iTunes, all of the platforms. So I want to remind everyone to for that. And without further ado, I have the one, the only, the best co-host in the world, David Wodonyuk, and I have Alan from Unmask The Mystery. So thank you two for being here. How you two doing today?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
Yeah, we're all good, mate.
Yeah, Alan, we're gonna please try to see if you can speak into the speaker or something, or so we can hear you better. So for those
I can use my phone, but if I use my phone, we get that feedback thing because I can't upload files.
Well, I think that the
USB.
issue with the feedback was that your computer, while you had the phone on, your computer didn't have the mute on, or like if you put them together too close, like that's when the feedback happens. But what do you think, David? Do you think we should just keep going like this?
Yeah, I think we can get by with this. Can you turn his volume up on your side for recording?
I did the whole. Well, I'll do it in post-production, obviously, but I'm just saying right now, like, if it's too hard, anyway, if it's too hard, you let me know, David, but we can work with it. So obviously we are following the series, the very important series of the whole incident that happened in Wales. And the way I know we're going to follow the story, follow the series. But what I wanted to do today is for those people that will watch this for the first time or listen to this for the first time, I want to ask both of you. Oh, hold up. I think Alan put the hold on. He got we got the feedback.
That's it. Muted.
And the computer,
that's it. Muted.
Wait, hold up. Is the computer mute? Oh, there you go. So now it's just the phone. You see? Can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's just the phone, but I had to turn the laptop off, so I can't share any files with you.
Oh yeah.
On laptop, mate. We'll have to just do with laptop, mate, because you need to be able to share stuff in it.
Yeah, you won't be able to share, man. Oh shit.
Okay, I'll close the phone down. I'll go back to the laptop. Yeah.
I gotta send Alan a microphone. I got a bunch of microphones, bro. I gotta send you a mic, man.
Sounds good.
Nah, I'm serious.
Yes, so am I.
Cause I stacked up and shit. I got a whole bunch of equipment, man. I spent maybe like 50K on a whole bunch of shit, bro.
Wow. Right, I'm just gonna change over now.
Yeah, I wonder why it's giving that feedback. You think, David, cause it's they're too close together, the phone and the computer?
I don't know, man. I'm in 90s when it comes to technology, me, man.
Okay, okay. Yes, terrible feedback. All right, so hold on. We got to get rid of the cell phone. So, all right. So we're just gonna stay on the laptop. Can you hear us, Alan?
Yeah, I can hear you. Is it better if I should talk up a bit?
Oh, this is better. Yeah. You could just talk up, man. I hope you don't scare your wife, but yeah, you can talk up.
She says I scare her every day.
Man, God bless that woman. She put up
Yeah,
with a
God
lot,
bless
man.
her, man.
Holy shit. A lot of women would have left you already, man.
Yeah, I agree.
You got to be a special guy, man. All right, so this is what I wanted to start with, and I think that this is important to catch up, but I think that to document this moment is extremely important, and I want to start with Alan. Alan, you can hear me well, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, because I want you to hear my question well. So, Alan, it's really important for you to please take us back to the moment when your life changed, when this whole thing happened. And what I really want you to dive into is how this whole incident impacted your life, what kind of changes you had to go through, and what kind of mission you have been on for all of these years, and all kinds of barriers that you had to go through. You know, if you can give us this picture, because I want the listeners and the viewers to be able to connect to this once again on a personal level, because again, this is, we kind of overlook the fact that you really got sucked into this huge story, you know, that's now it's developing, but it's been many years. For us, it's like, you know, podcasts and videos, but for you, this is life. So please take us back from the moment when you were living a normal life, and then the thing happened, and how it has impacted you ever since, and what you had to do ever since to follow the mission and follow the story, man.
Okay, it's coming up for 7 years now. It all started when we were up late. We were doing a book of poetry for Chris's mum. It was like a present, and it got to about 2 o'clock because like we just couldn't get it right. So Chris went downstairs, go make us a cup of coffee. We were going to keep going, soldier through it, and that was the idea. When she come back up, Chris has said, "Look, there's some strange noises coming back." Yeah, but well, it's a semi-derelict property. There was no one living there. There shouldn't have been any noises, but there were. That's basically how we found out about it. I went back upstairs. We didn't bother with the coffee. We were just really, really tired. But I stuck my phone out the window. I was curious. I just wanted to know what the noises were. I probably wouldn't have done anything about them. I mean, if they've got some sort of machine running in there, you know, that's between them and the police. But when I played the noises back, I could hear the screams of young kids and things like that. Now, you ask how it affects me. Well, sheer shock. What can you do? And when we reported to the police and they didn't do anything, that was worse. It's like a realization that something deeper is going on. So we decided to just drop everything that we had, and put our lives into getting justice for them. Now, at the time, back in 2018, we didn't think for 1 minute we were going to see 2019. We were going back in that house. I mean, David will attest to this. We were going back in that house. We were getting recordings. We were sharing the recordings with the police, and still nothing was happening. How's it affected us? Well, in a funny way, it's brought us closer together. I can remember the early days. A chemical gas come into the house. Now, this is really strong chemical gas. It managed to buckle me over. I think it was an attempt to kill us. So we decided not to live in the house anymore. But at the time, all we had available to us was a car. We were hiding at a place called Biology. Literally in the back of the car, we'd put this mattress in it. We built this little outside stove and things like that. In many ways, if it wasn't for the seriousness of it, it's been quite good fun. It's taught us lots of different things. If you like, yeah, I know it's mad. It's given you like a purpose, a new outlook on life. But this has a very, very serious side, and all I'm looking for, this is all we're looking for, is an investigation. But there are so many people, police force included, that have come that just seem to be covering it up. All their evidence is contradictory. I mean, this is just nonsense, but it's nonsense on a big scale.
How before I move, because I want to ask Dave kind of the same question. Just gonna rephrase it, but before we go on, Alan, how has it impacted you on the way you view the world? I'm
Okay.
asking. I'm asking you,
I
Alan.
used
Like
to believe,
how had his because, and thank you for sharing that. But has it, has it kind of destroyed your faith in humanity, or like how are you dealing with this emotionally? Like, do you get scared for your life, like because you had to pick up, move around, change your life? I understand, you're a positive guy. You're saying this is, it's been fun. It gave me a purpose. But internally, have you gone through emotional turmoil? Has it destroyed your faith in humanity? Like, how is it on the emotional side?
yeah, absolutely. Initially, yeah, of course we were scared for our lives. Yeah, wouldn't you be? Somebody gasses you, you know these people are doing these evil things because you've got the recordings there. Yeah, sure, you're going to be scared. But, and here's the big but, after, I don't know, maybe a year or two of doing this, it's sort of, you're not scared anymore. It's more about, I don't know, it's more about bringing them to justice. It's more about saving children in the future. It's more about bringing the perpetrators to justice. But really, really, what I want to do is stop the perpetrators and see how deep it actually goes.
Okay. And just
Emotionally,
uh-huh.
yeah, no, emotionally, I consider myself fairly stable. I do other things as well. It's has affected me, yes. You asked me about how it's affected my view on humanity. Do you know, when I look around myself today, I see so much, what's the word, evil in the world. It's terrible. It really is terrible. But as far as my faith in people like the police and authorities have, it's gone, completely gone. I see a police car now. I just hope it doesn't stop, because at the end of the day, I just don't trust them.
Yeah, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Does that
So,
make
David,
sense?
yeah, it makes sense. David, I want to ask you the same thing, because for you, it's a little different. You weren't impacted by it as directly as Alan. Obviously, no one has. But
Yeah.
since you've been involved with the story, how has it impacted your life, and how has it changed you, maybe emotionally or mentally, things like that?
Uh, Being honest with you, because I think I was already researching this type of stuff, it just sort of validated what I already knew anyway. What I suspected were happening on a large scale across not just this country, all around the world. I must admit, especially that first year, it did batter my head a little bit, just because it was more frustration in the fact that this was happening, and there's not an awful lot you can do about it. It's like when I was trying to get a gang to come with me and go get in there. It would just, you don't feel like you're ever doing enough. You feel like you're being a bit of a pussy because you're not going down there and sorting it out. But it's catch-22. There's not much you can do unless you get sort of enough people behind you, or authorities behind you, especially because potentially authorities are involved in it. So yeah, that first year, a lot of times, sometimes I just have to just forget about it, because it does play on your mind. Obviously, if you know that something bad's happening to kids and it's happening right at that time.
So I just want to say, and I want to ask Alan this question before we go on, to continue the series. So basically, someone like me, like I'm from Ukraine. It was in the '90s. It was lawless. Like, so we weren't expecting much of the government. But when we look at Western countries, we think, the law works, justice works. Like, so I want to ask you, Alan, because obviously you said you lost your faith in policing and authorities and stuff like that. But overall, are you surprised that something like this can go unnoticed, uninvestigated in a first world, um, once a superpower country like the UK? And do you think that the rabbit hole goes a lot deeper?
Yeah, I absolutely 100% believe it. The rabbit hole goes deeper. Yes, I think it does. I think those tunnels are probably connected to a much larger network.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the bit that we discovered got filled in. But the way they filled it in, if you look at the aerial photos, it gives them a rough idea of where the tunnels actually traveled to. So perhaps they could be excavated.
Okay. So David, you're somebody that has been in the know. Like, you're one of these people that, are constantly, you're researching, you're reading, you're living life where, you're inquisitive about the world that we are living in. I want to get your opinion. What do you think happened to the way law is being handled in the UK? And maybe it has always been like this and just people are not noticing, or has it been recently that things, for the lack of a better term, has gone to shit?
No, I'd say it's always been there. Maybe not at scale, but it currently at today, so widespread. But I think it's always been there for at least 100 year plus. It's been a part of our society. We just kept a lot more quieter. But I think because we've come into a point now where the people who rule us want to rule us openly, how they actually how they think. It's like if you look like a cult, it just means they didn't done it. So they don't want to hide anymore. They want to rule us how they want to rule us, and they want to be out in open, but they're involved in this type of stuff. So I think it's becoming more and more widespread so that they can get it to that stage. But I do think it's just always been a part of the higher, like, parts of British establishment, because ultimately it's also been a control mechanism in dealing with people because it's blackmailing it. You know what I mean? They get so much from it, and then again, if you look on an even deeper level, we're talking spiritual. But if you're just talking on a political level, it's a good way to keep people under control, because if they don't, you can say, "Well, look, we've got this video here. This is getting released unless that gets done." So I just got to get it done, mate. If I were you. So I'd personally say it's just always been a part of British society for 100, 200 years at least.
Do you think that people are being passive overall, or do you think that people are waking up now because you have so much going on with, the migrants and all kinds of racial things? Like, do you think that some sort of a wake up call is happening with the population?
And I think obviously they know that we're coming into a stage now where people are really, really waking up. And I think every big stunt that they pull, they know that's going to wake up a certain section of population. But they've already got the sort of flags ready and waiting for that to take people down rabbit holes away from the actual truth. So I'd say currently, for the vast majority of people who are waking up, they're still in control of them because they're then directing that awakening away from truth. And that's why we're bombarded so much from now. Why you've got so many options, better way to put it, on alternative media. But for most of the time, it's mainstream media packaged up as alternative media. They're still blagging you, aren't they? They're still taking you away from the actual truth.
Yeah, man.
So I see it now. So I see it's people who have woke up off of COVID and they're blaming Muslims for everything. It's like, you're crazy. How can Muslims be the problem? All the problem that we've got here. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Like, it's very shocking to me because, again, like when I was, let's say, born in the Soviet Union, then newly independent Ukraine, like, to us, we were always against authorities because we always knew we couldn't trust authorities. But when I moved to the West, what I noticed is the population trusts the government. They stand behind the government. I can't even imagine what it's like in the UK with the whole icon of the Queen and everything like that. It seems like people have always been supportive of the government, and now people are finding out, well, holy shit, like, there is a lot going on that we have been lied about.
Well, I'd say, to be fair, what I've experienced in UK, from, let's say, working class poor backgrounds, there's always been that mistrust of government because they've been at shitty end at stick of everything the government's done over the last 50 years. And understandably, you're much more likely to have interactions with police and see how ruthless police can be. So you very quickly, by early teenage years, you have a distrust of them because you've seen how they've acted and everything that's gone on. But definitely the middle class and the upper class, yeah, totally all like Queen and Country and all that stuff. COVID's been a big wake-up call for a lot of people at middle class. But again, it comes back to that. They've got too many disinformation agents who are like Pied Pipers for them, who are just taking them. They've woke up to a certain extent, but then they're sort of put back to sleep in another way, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, that's excellent. So Alan, if you can still hear me, what I want to ask you is, again, before, like, we're about to move on to the evidence and stuff, and pick up where we left off. I just want to ask you this, and I usually would ask something like this at the end, but I want to ask you now. Do you still have belief in you that your mission will not go in vain, that some sort of justice will be served and people will pay?
I'd like to say yes, absolutely. That is my mission. If I die doing it and I don't get there, well, I die doing it and I don't get there. But I'm going to do whatever I can. And I've evidenced so much stuff now. I'm hoping that other people will follow me, even if I don't see justice for them.
Okay, all right. So basically, last in the series where we left off is obviously we were once again talking about Simon. You, because there were recent developments with Simon, getting arrested, things like that. You said something interesting one time, Alan, and it kind of showed me a lot what kind of human being you are, because you correct me if I'm wrong, but you kind of said that Simon might be also a victim in this. Can you kind of talk about Simon and why, what his position is, and why you may be thought that he could be a victim that is trying to finally come out because his conscience is possibly eating at him?
Okay. This is what I was told. In his earlier years, he grew up in an abusive family, and from a very early age, he took on the role of father figure, if you like. What I see now isn't someone. He's been misleading people from the truth since the very, very beginning. He definitely has. But that man doesn't look like he's capable of being a ringleader to me. He looks like someone that's got problems, like someone's pushing him to say it, pushing him to do it. Whether he's involved or not, I don't know. This is an investigation. But what I've done is I've published what he said and proved it to be wrong. So presumably, if he's saying things and they're wrong, factually wrong, then he's a reason for doing that. I mean, he's published information saying I'm a paedophile. He's published information saying I went round to an 82-year-old, let's get this right, disabled lady's house when her carers weren't there. I was going to burn her down in her summer house. I was convicted in court. Anybody can look that up. It's complete nonsense. But the important bit is, what's his reason for doing it?
Right. That was my whole strange thing with Simon. Is my first question was, why is this guy getting involved, and why is he diving so deeply into this? Like, he made an effort to make videos and publish them, and then write things like, I eat children, things like what, so David, what do you think, with everything that what do you think about Simon and his role in all of this?
Yeah, I agree. If he's got anything to sort of do with it, it was just some sort of lackey who got given little odd jobs to do within that organisation. There's also always the possibility, but he had a bit of a bigger involvement in it. But like Alan says, it doesn't seem like that type of guy. He ain't emotionally stable. So I don't know. I don't know about Simon, if I'm being honest with you. Like I said, there's no reason for him to get involved the way he's got involved unless he's got some connection to it. But if he's any sort of like being down there doing out to kids, I don't know, mate. I wouldn't want to say yes or no because I don't know for definite.
So I want to ask, based on your intuition, man. Like, do you think that this guy is truly involved, or do you think that in a lot of ways he's trying to be a copycat?
I'd say if he were involved, he were involved in like the outer part of that circle. Like I say, just someone who got given odd job to do. So he might know the people who are involved in some type of criminal operation in them tunnels using that place, but not being fully aware to the extent of the operation that's happening there. I'd say he's more of he's an outer person involved in that organisation if he's a part of it.
Alan, I want to ask you, and I want to get this clear. So far, besides Alan, do you have any other suspicions of perpetrators or persons that are possibly involved? Or is Simon so far the only lead as far as people go?
No, I don't think he is. We've recorded other names. I can share the audio clips with you. But there are other people that have, well, they showed no empathy or concern where you'd expect them to. Two of them would be the shop owners. Not only the shop owners, the person that run the nail bar. Not only that, our next door neighbor. You'd expect all these people to go, what the is going on here? But see, they don't. There's no empathy, no concern. All of them have gone out the way, and I've got recordings that prove this, to say that nothing is going on. Or, like Simon, the noises are in my head. I've made them up. I've recorded them. I've downloaded them off the telly. Well, I mean, have a look at David. If I downloaded them off the telly, how could David record them? And it wasn't just David. I think there was nine other people.
No.
Here, Alan, sorry, just to put in, what did the letting agent think about all of this? Do you remember the letting agencies? Because I know they'd approached you about the cracks in the houses from the work from empty house in between years. Did you ever speak to them about what you were recording?
Yeah, they know about the recordings. Yeah, what happened was, we've talked about this before, haven't we? They were doing work next door and denying it. And they wrecked one of the walls, They broke all the plaster on one of the walls in John Francis estate agents. Now, we later phoned her up, the lady that's there, and she said there were two policemen that were outside the house, just hanging around. But the only thing that they did, they hung around for 2 days, and then they made an appointment with the people next door 6 weeks in the future to go in and have a look. Well, that didn't make any sense to me. But the other thing that didn't make any sense to me is the police never went into the nail bar and they never went into my house.
And then, do you know, the estate agents, were they aware of the recordings of the children?
Yeah, they were aware of the recordings of the children, perhaps not in the way you mean, but in the way that they have actually heard them.
Yeah, and did they... What were their comment on that? On what the fact that you've recorded children in distress there?
I didn't talk to them, Dave. I did initially with the damage and everything else like that.
Yeah, but you didn't talk. No, sound.
So what I want to say, and those are good questions, man. What I want to really say, and I'll follow this with a question, is that if you look at Simon Griffith, right? He's a interesting character from a very like serial killer kind of vibe that he gives off. This guy is posting, i.e., children. He got Hitler. He's wearing the crazy mask that sometimes still wakes me up at night. Like, he's literally that kind of a serial killer, sort of a bad guy persona. Alan, what has been the update with Simon, if any?
There is no update to Simon. He was in court a while back. charged with dealing, I think it was in cannabis. I don't think the case has been heard yet. His son has been in court for attacking a policeman, I believe it was, and he's been remanded. But that's all I know.
I've been saying this to Alan in this last week. I sometimes wonder though with Simon, and I'm sure Alan won't mind me saying it because I think it's about being transparent, but I sometimes wonder if Simon's a little bit of a red herring. It's like you've just mentioned, how he presents himself, it's like proper serial killer vibes. It's like you can't bait yourself up more than what he's already baited himself up, like with letters. So I just sometimes wonder if Simon's unwittingly becoming a red herring. You don't realise what he's doing, but he's being pushed into it. So we focus on Simon when really Simon's not to do with it. It's just some idiot who'd know, who'd getting him to come online and chat shit where he don't know what's going on down there because he's just some idiot over now.
Because he's a little too cartoonish, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right. I understand what you're saying, but look, in the defense of Alan, even getting involved with Alan is, with Simon is.
Prove to me that you're alive.
On one side, he's super cartoonish, like straight up out of a comic book. On the other hand, though, Alan has a good point. Why is he getting so involved? Why is he making such a big effort? And also, one thing that really, now that I think about it, is whenever he did that video when he's in the car, why is this guy looking so freaking paranoid? Or is this an act? Like, you know what I mean? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree. It does look paranoid. He looks scared. He looks like he's under a lot of pressure, doesn't he? But it just comes back to that. It's just he's really cartoonish. It's like if you were gonna try and put us off at Sen but you've got nothing to do with it, would you act in that way and post the things that you're posting? Like I eat children. Why would he post that? So I am a little bit baffled about Simon, me personally. I'm not quite 100% sure either way with that guy.
Alan, what is your intuition telling you, Alan? And you've been involved with this for on a personal level for way longer. What is your intuition saying about Alan? About Simon, sorry.
Yeah. I think that he has to have a reason for what he's done. I invited him back in 2019 to give his point of view publicly for everybody. Wouldn't you expect him to scream from the rooftops? It's nothing to do with me. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll help you. I'll give you a hand, sort it out. But he didn't. But he did release that video 4 years later saying he didn't have anything to do with it. Didn't know anything about it. So to me, that seems to speak volumes. He could have released the video early. He didn't. But I agree with you two guys. He is she's like a cartoon character. We've all seen Superman, haven't we? Yeah, this is like Simon Man, where he's like flying through the sky, doing all this evil stuff.
The super villain, right?
Being Mr. Nasty. What can you say about him?
It reminds me of. Do you remember that film? Oh, sorry, Alan, go on.
No, I didn't catch that bit.
Oh, no, I was just saying, it reminds me of, have you seen that film Scary Movie where they go in the house, that comedy Scary Movie, and there's that caretaker with dodgy hand? Do you ever seen that movie, no? I'll send you a link to it. It's like a caricature.
So Alan, this is because I got to be honest with you. You shocked me one of these days when you wrote me and you said, why don't we try to have Simon on the podcast? I'm not sure if Dave is aware of that, but Alan writes me one time and he goes, why don't we have Simon on? So Alan, this is my question to you. Let's say we have Simon on. What would you ask Simon?
I just want him to explain himself. I mean, let's have a reasonable conversation between sort of two people. Let him explain why he calls me a paedophile. Let him explain why he's tried to mislead people. Let him explain all his misleading comments and let him prove them if he thinks they're true.
Yeah.
Because this is what really baffles me about the whole thing, right? Like, why? Like, I understand He's, it could be a guy that's living in his mama's basement. He's an older guy, like he's lonely, he needs attention. He creates this persona, scary masks, Hitler, like the full package. My big question is, why are you making such a big effort to say that Alan is lying? This is what baffles me, man.
Yeah.
Well, why not? Why not reach out to him? Why not reach out to him? Reach out to him and see if he's willing to come on the podcast. And if he is, let's see what he's got to say. Man to man. Yeah. Let's see if he can back up his claims or what he's going to say.
Because he had said a lot of nasty stuff about you, aren't he? The stuff that the extent he's gone to try and slur your name is pretty extreme, isn't it?
He's discrediting Alan.
Yeah.
And imagine Alan has his whole life shifted. He had to change his whole life. He had to go on the move. He had to make all these adjustments. He's scared for his life. He has the recordings. You, Dave, you have actual recordings. This is not in Alan's head. And here is someone that comes out and says, yo, this is all in his head.
Yeah.
That's
you've tried getting an interview with him a few times, haven't you, Alan? And he's declined you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can play you the recordings. He just tells me. Last time he told me to fuck off. One time he told me the recordings were in my head.
Do you have that recording?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe you can. Maybe you can pull it up, man, just for evidence purposes. But does anyone have contact with him? Like actual contact with him? Like how would someone get in contact with him? On Facebook or something? Is that where he's lurking?
Where is he at the moment? He's on Facebook. I've got his details there. I know he replies to people, so yeah, you could get to him on Facebook. I believe I've got his telephone number. I've got his email address.
I gotta be honest, man. I gotta be honest. Like I've seen all kinds of shit in my life, but yo, that guy creeps me out, man. That guy is creepy as shit, bro.
You think you had an interaction with him recently, didn't you, Alan, on a comment on one of your videos?
Yeah, probably, Dave. I can't remember it. What were we talking about?
You sent me some screenshots of some messages, and obviously it wasn't under Simon's name, but it's suspected it was Simon, and you were talking on a message.
Yeah.
To resend you on WhatsApp if you want, Alan.
I think Alan. Were you able to pull up the recording? I just want to get it on record.
For some internet, for a reason my internet's patchy, I'll just try to find it now.
Yeah, Dave froze too. But it's okay. Listen, if you can't find it, it's okay. I just wanted to kind of get it on record that if we are going to invite him, is to have it on record that you did speak to him and he did tell you what he told you, because it seems like from 2018 till now, like we're talking almost a decade, it seems like this is one hot lead that you guys have on one hand. And on the other hand, this could be someone that is throwing, throwing dirt in your eyes, throwing sand in your eyes, and creating
like,
smoke and mirrors, right?
Yeah. Like I originally said to him when he first started commenting, why are you muddying the waters? And that's just what he's consistently done right from start, just muddy the waters as much as possible. And that's why I sometimes wonder a little bit, is he a bit of a red herring? Should we just I personally think I need to get down there and do some proper investigation. That's what I need to be doing,
Okay, tell me about that, Dave. What are you talking about? What would you like to do?
So I think we're at this stage now in case where we need a new break in it. We need either an entrance, we need something, and we're not going to get that sat on a computer. We need to get down there and get flying some drones, get looking at some entrances. We need proper boots on ground down there if we're going to progress it any further. Because Alan's got loads and loads and loads of evidence. I just think it just needs that boots on ground now, just to really, finish it off and get it going.
Do you honestly think that there is still something going on down there?
I do, I personally do. I don't think, because there ain't many suitable places which can provide them with what that place could provide them with, that total anonymity underground. So they're going to want to keep it out there. And I think as far as they're concerned, they've managed to keep a lid on it, haven't they? Alan's been on his toes. He's constantly shadow banned. He's getting his TikToks took down. Anytime he's built any momentum, they've managed to quench it. So I think for them, they can still crack on and do what they're doing. Why give up on such a good place?
So you think everything that Alan has done, that you have done, you think they don't care?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, on one hand, it it can sound discouraging, but then on the other hand, man, I always have faith, man, that that justice will prevail, man, that it has to.
Yeah, it's got to, mate, and that's the thing. That's why I think I've just got to do more, right? So they're not bothered by what we've done so far, right? So let's take it up a level and let's get some more, and just take it up a notch and keep taking it a notch until we win. It's just one of them. It's a battle, innit? And you either just sit down and don't do nothing and accept defeat, or come up with something new, come up with a new plan, and like I say, take it up a level.
What would you like to do? Would you set up cameras this time instead of just recordings? Like, how would you approach this?
Well, I think it'd be good to try and obviously get some more recordings back in that place again, which ain't going to be easy, obviously, because of fire damage, but there's ways, obviously. And then entrances. And I think if we've got some sort of viable entrance, then we can really start thinking about getting people together, and a lot of people together, to turn up there and start doing something. Do you know what I mean? Because understandably, before, when Alan did have access to the house, the only way we thought we could definitely get to it, literally smashing his way in through the floor, digging his way in, which again is probably unrealistic. But if we could, there's obviously got to be entrances. There's got to be somewhere where they're coming in and out of this place, aren't there? So if we can get that location, then surely we can get a couple of hundred people with cameras and just turn up there mob-handed, and then they can't. They're going to struggle to keep a lid on that, aren't they? Right. Do you know, if you've got 200 people there, a bit different if you've got 5 to 10, they can keep a lid on that. They can't keep a lid on 200 people going live on Facebook and all that. Right. You know what I mean?
That's a great idea. Alan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. Anything that helps has got to be good. Now, just getting back to Simon for a minute. Not only did he leave comments in his own name, but he made loads and loads of fake identities as well. And I've managed to link him to him. But I don't want to talk about Simon too much, apart from I've queued the recording up for you. So I'm going to play it now. Is that okay?
Yes, please. Are you able to present?
We lost him.
Nah, he's here.
Screen shave it.
There's something being played in the background, but are you able to present it the way you used to present it, or do you have it like on your phone or something?
Okay, possibly. Present. Let's see if I can do this.
There should be a way to present. Boom, boom.
Gonna take me a few minutes to find it.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, Dave, man, I think that's a great idea. If you could actually get even 100 people, man, because again, they're not arresting 100. They're not coming to arrest 100 people. How do you think? Because you know what really bothers me is, and this is something that Alan has talked about, that it seems like that the people that are around there, like the shop owners, the neighbors, that they don't give a shit. If you could have the neighbors plugged in and actually are willing to help out, that would be a big thing. But imagine you go back there, you're trying to, snoop around and stuff. What would the shop owners do in that case?
Yeah, it's time of day, especially because you've got that pizza place where that guy who owned that, he was a raving sex case. He'd been convicted for rapes and everything, strangely enough. And then obviously you had Nail Bar that's been convicted for human trafficking, right next door to each other. But I think going Fruit Day, and especially because you can go Fruit back, so you don't have to go Fruit Main Street. If you go on a morning at like 8 o'clock in the morning and just do it. Just act like you own the place, and again, it's hidden in plain sight. You go with a visi vest on and an hard hat like you're a workman, and you just jump up wall and just do whatever you're doing, like you're meant to be there. People just ignore that because it's obviously some workman doing a survey. That's how I'd play it. Like I was doing when I went there, I was going in there making it look like I was doing a survey. It's why would anyone bother you?
So basically, no more snooping around, right? Basically, no more in the middle of the night.
Nah, just turn up there, Fruit Day. If there's an easy way to get in there, great. Try and get some microphones in there. And then obviously Alan's got a few little links and leads for where there might be some tunnel entrances, and you just go do it Fruit Day. Don't hurt taking a dog with you, does it? Take a dog with you, just walking your dog.
Right. So you know what's really crazy, man? If you really think about it, imagine Alan and you and all of these people that actually care for the past 7 years have gathered so much evidence. This is what doesn't really fit into my brain. Like their actual evidence, that have been piling up, man. So this whole thing cannot be a fluke. This whole thing cannot be there's way too much evidence.
Yeah.
And this is something that, the authorities were supposed to do. Okay, boom, we got
police, but I've given them all that because of the harassment.
Yeah, that's the wrong one, sorry.
Yes.
I'm not saying they're listening to you now, but they could be. But what Alan has,
It doesn't matter if they are, Simon, because everything I've said to you, I've said to the police,
But of course, if that was true, he wouldn't have hung up on me when I gave him the chance to actually give his point of view.
Hello?
Simon, yeah, I thought I'd just give you a quick ring, give you a chance to put your point of view.
But what?
What about all...
Noises inside your head?
Well, they're not in my head, mate, are they? 9 people have recorded them.
What was that at the end? What were those? What was that screaming, man?
That's one of the recordings from underneath the house. That's where a girl gets shot. You hear her pleading, and then you hear gunshots afterwards.
Yo, man,
That's a bad one. I forgot about that one.
When you say shit like that, so over here it says the police are listening to my phones. Whose phones are they listening to?
No, that was Simon talking. He says that the police are listening to his phones in a conversation with a lady named Nadine. But if that was true, he wouldn't hang up on me. He'd carry on talking and gather evidence, wouldn't he? It's an obvious one.
Usually if the phone is tapped, you can hear like clicks and you can hear disruptions and things like that. But why would he say that the police are listening to his phone? Why would he say that if he thinks all of this is a lie? It's all nonsense.
When he was talking to Nadine, he was just making her almost paranoid, I suppose, of be careful of what you say to me because it's being recorded.
Okay, so we can leave the infamous Simon alone for right now. Do you have anything else to present right now, Alan?
Yeah, I put some stuff together for you if you want it.
Please, yes.
Well,
That's what we're here for, man. We've been really trying to do this for so long now, man. It's you know what's crazy? I have to while Alan is looking for this, I almost forgot to tell you a story. So I was editing one of the videos that we had done. This was one of the last one I was editing, and it was in the middle of the night. And I could swear to you, for the first time in my life, it felt like someone was tapping into my brain, like almost like a possession. But it didn't feel spiritual. It felt almost like electromagnetic in a way. But for the first time ever, I felt like I wasn't in control of my thoughts, and I had to sit there and convince myself, to bring me back to my own senses. And it happened right after I listened to the recording of the children, man. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Mate, this is the thing. I know a couple, at least two people, and I know Alan's had mad experience like that. Madly enough, and I said this to Alan a couple of hours ago. So obviously I've been busy today. I'm at work. It's got to like 4:30. Clicked into my head, right? I've got that thing tonight with Alan and Naz. So I'm like, got that now on my head. Now I've got my stuff to do before I start that. As soon as I thought about it, I had a feeling of dread, like impending doom, for right up till about 7 o'clock. Just that hit of stomach, like impending doom feeling. And I actually think that's implanted. That wasn't an emotion coming from me, because why would I have an impending doom about doing this with you? That's been implanted to me to put me off wanting to do it, if you get what I'm saying. And I had that mad thing happen there with me after I read them scriptures with my pal, and that really took a bad effect on my mate. He like spiraled out of control after that day.
You know what I think before Alan talks about what we have on screen, you know what I think after that whole incident like passed, and thank God it passed, I had to really, pull myself back. It was like I was on psychedelics. I think if I never had experience with psychedelics, I would have like been losing my mind. But the point that I'm trying to make is, and to kind of, highlight what you just said, is I think that because so much, as you said, dread and so much pain and so much suffering has been involved in this whole story on a spiritual level, that it has left some sort of a big, I don't know, hole or effect in the ether, in the astral, planes, like that's some, it's like, it's almost like the spirit of these children are crying out, if you can, if it makes sense to what I'm saying.
But do you think that could be a bit like, is it a tulpa? I'm saying that right? Where they're basically creating, through energy, you create an entity. It's its own distinct entity, but you've created it through your own energy of doing it.
Yes.
I think it's called a tulpa in Himalayas. It's like they're like they say they can do it, but it's like in Slavic Vedas. I think it's like a European thing as well. And I sometimes wonder that, because, like, say when I were there, I did hear them footsteps above me. That were whatever it was, it wasn't tall, because it were running length at attic, and attic wasn't tall. It was only 4 foot. It's big. What I actually hearing? That's the tulpa that's being created from what they're doing with these kids.
That's very possible, because again, you have to think about how strong this sort of energy would have been, especially if this was going on for years. I mean, you're taking the innocent, and you're taking all that suffering, you're taking all that torment. And it's very possible, because even think about all the crazy shit that happens every time we're getting ready to get together. Either the internet goes off, or I get it, a strike with some shit always happens, man. Like this, it's crazy. Okay, so Alan, man, the mic is yours, my brother. What are we looking at?
Okay, before I start, yeah, I totally agree with David. I heard that noise as well. Someone runs, and it's quite a loud run. You can hear the footsteps and everything, but there isn't anywhere for them to run. I mean, Dave, what is it? That roof's about, 4 foot high?
Yeah. And it's like, not just that you hear it; you feel the vibrations. Like there's a weight running above you. You feel the steps as they're bouncing along. You don't just hear it; you feel the vibration from it.
That's insane. That's so insane. That just gave me goosebumps, bro. Damn.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I heard that twice there. I heard it on my own.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And they weren't picked up on the record as well, because you remember when me and that lady, we both heard it at the same time together. So we were going to check back the recorders, you know, because it was right at the beginning. But they didn't get picked up by recorders. Am I right in saying that, Alan?
Yeah, no, there was nothing on the recorders.
Yeah.
There were 4 recorders used that day as well. Didn't pick it up at all.
Well, there were one literally in the loft, exactly. So the steps run past the microphone, because obviously that scared the lady even more, because she just had her hand up there.
crazy.
You know what I mean?
Yo, Dave, I gotta say this, man. We're lucky to have Alan, because me and you already are, you know, we have like all it is. We're on the spiritual side. It's so good that Alan is still on the practical side. He could be like, listen, guys, because if it was just me and you, we would have been like that, bro. Like, we would have been battling demons and shit like that. So thank God for Alan. Alan is like, yo, slow down, folks, man. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit, man. So Alan, take it away, brother. What are we looking at?
Okay. After if you go down the alleyway, this is the door that was opposite my house. So it's number 22 College Street. And you can see at the top where somebody's drilled an eye hole in. Yeah, so they can see out. So if you go to the second photo, you can see that in a bit, more detail. Now, I don't know if you can see through that hole, but somebody put an endoscope camera in there and had a look. And about maybe 12 inches back, there's a sheet of plastic. So even if you put an endoscope camera in, you can't see what's behind that door.
What? Holy shit, man. So where is this door located, referring to the house?
Okay, where my house is, there's an alleyway between my house and that house.
Right.
And that's the side door that goes into their alleyway. Yeah, opposite our front door, more or less.
So is this door visually exposed, like outside where people can actually see this?
Yes, you can see it. Yes, like Dave's probably seen it. Have you seen it, Dave?
Yeah, I remember that door.
So before we go on to the next point, so maybe you guys, I don't know, tell me what you think about this. With Alan kind of blowing the lid off of this story and everything like that, and getting people involved, like, and actually going on a mission. Why do you think nothing has really been remodeled, or has it been remodeled ever since the incident first was noticed by Alan?
Me personally, obviously the condition of the house now, Alan's old house, that suits them. That's perfect for him. It's always strange for all them years later, that house next door that's been empty is still empty, and no signs of it changed, because what work they needed to do there already got done when Alan was there, and it caused all that subsidence to both the properties either side of it. So they're obviously doing something with the footings, with the underneath the house, to cause subsidence either side of it. So I think it's set up perfect for him, and that's why I still think it's carrying on, because no one's going in the house no more, because you can't. It's fire damaged, and the house is just still empty, still staying. Nothing's ever been done.
So basically, what I think this is what you're saying, that this plays in their favor, where it just looks like a run-down property, is nothing going on there. Is that basically what you're saying?
It's back to that hidden in plain sight. It's on an high street. It's just an empty building. No one's seen coming and going from it. No changes. People just ignore it, don't they?
Do you know if squatters have been in the house?
Yeah, some youth used to use the place as a meeting point. Interestingly, must have been last month, one of them got in touch with me. She shared some videos with me, showed them actually getting into the house. They show other things as well. They show the layout of the alleyway. They show, she did tell me as well who she thought had started the fire and where it started.
Are you allowed to share them videos?
Yeah, are you allowed to either share the video or share the story, like more details, like what were these kids talking about and why did they get in touch with you?
Okay, she got in touch with me because she believes in the story, but she said something different. She said that there's next door to us is a fast food shop. This is where that guy, the owner, he was arrested on suspicion of bribery, and it turned out that he'd raped somebody at gunpoint, and there was an attempted child molestation as well. She says that 20 people come out of that shop. Now, these aren't customers, these are staff, and accosted her and her friend. They reported it to the police, and the police covered it all up, is what she alleges. She alleges a lot more as well, like the police made improper suggestions to her and her friend. They were both about 16 at the time. She alleges that one of the police officers deliberately smashed her iPhone, and she also, they were held in custody one night, the two girls and one of the boys, and she says that she could hear the boy getting beaten up by the police.
What?
That's what she alleges. I've got the conversation. I'm going to take her names and everything out of it, but it will be going up on the internet.
Do you want to share it here and then I'll edit out the names and stuff?
I can't. Somewhere I've got a version of it, right, that I've edited so you can't see the faces and everything easily. But I don't know where it is offhand.
It's okay. It's okay.
Off screen, I can either send it to you separately, or
it's okay. It's okay. But I think that this is very, like, this is very important, because I think that this is a much bigger link than Simon ever was. So again, I want a clarification on this. When were these kids there, and did they themselves experience anything that might be abnormal or scary or just abnormal?